Because in either game, life or football, the margin for error is so small. I mean, 1/2 a step too late or too early, and you don't quite make it. 1/2 second too slow, too fast, you don't quite catch it. The inches we need are everywhere around us.
Hell yeah.
They're in every break of the game, every minute, every second.
What up, everybody? This is Brent. I'm on a daily podcast. Boy, so OJ's going to be somebody's new neighbor. Look at that. What do you think he's going to do for a living? I'm guessing he's going to be a reality star. I mean, he probably I think he owes $30 million and to the Ron Goldman's dad, and so he's got to pay the rest of that off. And I don't know, he's the one that got, long day. He got the Kardashians started because he did the Shapiro, I think it was no, not Shapiro, Kardashian, hello. Like saying, what day is the 4th of July? What day of the month? So his attorney ultimately got them started, well, with some other stuff, but we won't talk about that. So yeah, I think he's down for a reality show, and you know what's sad is we'll all watch it. It's one of those things where I may not be able to watch the whole thing, but I love to see a good train wreck. As long as nobody gets hurt, of course, because I'm very sensitive. Of course, passed a bunch of homeless people today, except for the homeless people weren't the one begging. There was a black guy, black girl. They're in a car, and it's funny because my dad actually pointed it out. He's like, "Hey, this car's acting weird. It's an old Grand Am, and it just looked bad. It's just, if I was a cop, I would have pulled him over. It's just something about him." And then I get off the off ramp. I was gonna drop my dad off, and I saw them. Oh, 1 second. They're begging for money on the side of the road. She's pretty much dancing in the middle of the street, and I'm not pushing a stereotype. I'm just saying she's standing there going left to right, and you could consider that dancing. So she's in the middle of the street, waving people down, trying to get $1. And then the thing of it is like, I'm always torn. I'm like, okay, do I give them money? Do I not? I know I am a Christian, so I want to help people, but at the same time, as somebody cuts me off, at the same time, I do want to be wise, in how I do things, and not throw money away to somebody that just doesn't want to work. And I am very torn, because on one hand, it's like, okay, you just help people. You just help people. The title of this show will be Yawning. Not yawning. The Bible says, okay, help people. So now, am I going to say, oh no, this person, no, he's going to buy drugs or alcohol or just not work with it, so I'm not going to help the person? But is that for us to do? You know what I mean? Is that for us to just help, because it could be entertaining an angel and then let God figure it out? Or should we just really double down and help the people that need help, that we know for sure, instead of just enabling people? Because, if you're going to add to somebody's detriment, you can't say, oh, well, if they need help, they need help. So, man, somebody slipped me a Mickey or what? Man, I'm tired. Is Bill Cosby around? So I'm just like, okay, should I give them money? Should I not? And ultimately I didn't, because they had a gas can, a brand new gas can. It was on top of their car. And I'm thinking, now they got props. It's like, really, if you're going to ask for money, you're going to be maybe just coasting to the gas station, being at the gas station, but on the side of the off-ramp, I'm guaranteed they're going to get some money. They may get gas with it. That may just be how they get gas, but I just had a bad feeling about it, and I'm like, are these scams ever going to stop? It's always, yeah, my car's around the corner, I need money for gas. That's the weirdest thing. I've never just been yawning all the time. It is Friday. It's been a long week for me. It's been a long month, long year. And that's what happens when you work for a living, and you have your own company. There are no days off. So I think ultimately it was a scam, so I decided not to. Am I going to hell over it? I don't think so, because I still love God. I still know I'm a screw up, and got my Savior, but I got some money in my pocket too. I didn't give the cash away. I would much rather give the cash away to my kids. Well, not give it to them. I'll take them somewhere. I wonder if it's because I'm thinking about not yawning, if that's why I'm yawning. Who knows? So, speaking of getting tired, I was at a job today, and it's a customer I've known for a long time, and they're all pretty wealthy, and I happen to know her, I don't want to say boyfriend, because she's elderly. What's she call him? Her companion. I've known him for, 20 years plus. So anyway, he, I guess, is not doing well. He's in the hospital. And so she's like, great. Yeah. Maybe she put something in my drink. So, she's sitting there. She's like, okay, he used to push me around in the wheelchair, and I offered to take her to the hospital. She's like, yeah, but if I get there, I can't get to the hospital room. And I'm like, well, I could push you around, I guess. And it's kind of hard because I had a crew with me and a work truck, and I'm thinking, how am I going to do this logistically? And I go, well, if you wait, I could do it. It sounded like a cop-out, but I got one more job after this. People's expecting me, and then I can come back and take you. But for whatever reason, she didn't want me to do that. Oh, God, this is unlistenable. Keep on yawning. I'm getting sleepy. Just listening to myself getting sleepy. So I didn't take her, but it made me. I'm walking around and I'm looking at my wealthy customers, and she pretty much said all she could do is, at this point, she's on the that is a CPAP where you're just getting oxygen. She said pretty much she could just look out her window. As I had to clean that one really well. She could just look out her window. She doesn't have enough energy to really do anything. And I'm looking at her around her house and a lot of books. And I tell you, if I had to read, if that's the only thing I had to do is read, no music, no TV, no nothing, I would just be sleeping all the time. I would just be sleeping all the time. And this would be not a good podcast for you to listen to while you're driving. A dude yawning every couple of minutes. But and she mentioned her daughter and stuff. Her daughter comes over every once in a while. But I guess the thing of it is I've seen a lot of these people that were really wealthy. A lot of people have really big companies, and you can't be a well-rounded person or as well as you'd like. You have to kind of be all in to your family or all into work, and you could try to make them both happen. Like what I do is I try to bring my kids to work if I'm doing a convention or just some sort of sales or something on the road. I'll try to bring the kids estimates. I'll drive to San Diego to do an estimate, and I'll stay at a hotel. And sometimes it costs me hundreds of dollars to do an estimate, but it's an excuse to be with the kids and I'm working. And I think later on, this is one area, I was wise beyond my years, but mostly just listening to other people. God put some good people in front of me, and thank God I listened. And so I look at these people, and, if your kids aren't coming around because you're so into business, I think a lot of people think, okay, my kids are going to come around because I have money. Well, no, because they've seen you work your tail off, and they know that you have neglected them a little bit So guess what? You taught them how to be an adult, and for them, how to be an adult is work so much and put family second. So guess what? You are going to be put second. They'll move to the East Coast. They'll they'll marry their work, and you will be left in the dust. So I think in some cases it's not going to pan out like you would like it to pan out. You give your kids all these things, but if it's at too high of a cost, you will regret it later. And I just think of this lady in a giant house by herself, elderly, not doing well. I do feel for her, but I wonder how much that has to do with how they were raised, where the family's like, hey, got to do my 9 to 5 first, or not 9 to 5 wouldn't be a problem. Just when we own businesses, we're like, 5 in the morning to whatever time, as late as we can stay up. So let's try to, we love business, we love success, but when you have family and when you have a kid, it is time to do one of two things. You either turn it down, or you got to get real creative. Like I said, you turn your business trips into vacations. You learn to multitask. You put your Bluetooth in your ear if you have to hear something, and while your kid's there. And I'm not saying be totally tuned out while your kids, but toggle back and forth. When your kid's rambling, not making sense, okay, listen to your whatever it is you got to listen to, and then when they're looking at you and you could tell they're wanting to share something with you, pay attention. I think that we will not regret that, because these people gotta, people always talk about, oh yeah, rich people, they're so lucky, they're so this. And this lady, she could have had a Bugatti in the driveway. She wouldn't care. She does like her home. Who wouldn't? But it's not the brick and mortar and the. I think it's just her independence is what she is attributing to her home. To where if, like, she's like, oh, should I go to a the old folks home, retirement home? And I told her, I go, look, what I've seen, people don't enjoy it. They're giving up their independence, and they feel like their own person. And I think one thing too is when you move, and let's say you go to assisted living and you don't have to do anything, your body will acquiesce. It'll be like, all right, we don't have to do anything, so let's turn it down. We don't need the muscle that we used to need. We don't need the stamina. But if you're at your house, you're going to be forced to do a little bit more, to turn it up a little bit more. One thing that's weird too is I'm human. You do think about, God, these people got all this money, and now they're about to move on. I don't expect any money or anything. I know everybody has kids and stuff and like that, but it's like, why don't you just start tipping a little bit extra? It's like here I'm going crazy, working my tail off, and you're let's say you're in your mid 80s, and yeah, I hope life expectancy's well over 100 for some people once you get to that point. But it's like, why not just tip a little bit? How about the guy that's been working on your home for 20 years? Maybe throw him an extra 50. What the hell? You see him once every 3 months. You trust him with your life, and that's a weird thing. So. But that just shows you people's disconnect sometimes. I think I told you a story about I had a friend, and I think he's worth over $40 million, and we all went to his wedding one time. It was a long time ago, and I drove my Jeep up there, and I'm strapped for cash, and I was just a lowly window cleaner at the time, and worked under somebody, and I think I bought him some towels. That's the only thing I can afford. And so I get up to Silicon Valley, and I went to get the tuxedo, and he made us pay. I think it was like $65 for the tuxedo. And I'm thinking, if you're worth that much, and he grew up with us, we're friends, and he thinking, why don't you just pay for the guy's tux, man? What the hell, And I think what happens is when it's not an object, you think it's not an object for other people. So